Have you ever heard the tale of the Viking who became the father of France? It's a story that begins in the cold, harsh lands of Scandinavia and ends in the fertile fields of Normandy. His name echoes through history, a whisper of the North Sea wind across the fields of Normandy. The very air seems to carry the memory of his deeds, a blend of myth and reality. His name is Rollo, a Viking warrior of formidable strength and ambition. Born into a world of endless conflict and fierce competition, Rollo's life was destined to be extraordinary. They called him Rollo the Walker, for he was so large no horse could bear his weight. His imposing presence was matched only by his unyielding determination and strategic mind. This is the story of his journey from fierce raider to the founder of a dynasty, a saga of ambition, adaptation, and the enduring legacy of the Viking spirit. Rollo's transformation from a feared invader to a respected leader is a testament to his adaptability and vision. Rollo's story is a testament to the impact one man can have on the course of history. His legacy is etched in the very fabric of Normandy, a region that still bears the marks of his influence. His tale is a blend of myth and reality, a reminder that history is not merely a collection of dates and names, but a tapestry woven with the threads of human drama. The stories of his exploits have been passed down through generations, each retelling adding a new layer to his legend. Prepare to be transported to a time of iron and fire, a time when Viking longships sailed up the Seine, and the destiny of a nation hung in the balance. The rivers and seas were the highways of the Vikings, and Rollo's mastery of these routes was key to his success. This is the story of how a Viking warrior left an indelible mark on the very soul of France. Rollo's influence can still be felt today, a lasting reminder of the power of one man's vision and determination. Rollo's origins are shrouded in the mists of time, his birth date lost to the annals of history. Some say he hailed from Norway, others from Denmark. Regardless, he emerged from the crucible of Scandinavian warfare as a formidable Viking chieftain. The sagas speak of his strength, his tactical brilliance, and his unwavering ambition. Rollo's early life was a tapestry of daring raids and exploration, filled with relentless quests for new territories. He honed his skills in the unforgiving waters of the North Sea, leading his warriors in search of plunder and glory. Their longboats, sleek and swift, became symbols of fear and awe, their dragon-headed prows parting the waves like harbingers of destruction. From the coasts of Ireland to the shores of Frisia, Rollo's name became synonymous with Viking prowess and relentless ambition. But fate, it seemed, had grander designs for the Viking chieftain. His gaze turned south towards the fertile lands of Francia, a realm ripe for the taking and conquest. Driven by ambition and the lure of riches, Rollo, a formidable Viking leader, was not content with mere raids and plunder. He sought something more permanent, a legacy that would endure through the ages. His eyes were set on the heart of the Frankish kingdom, a land of wealth and opportunity. Rollo set his sights on the heart of the Frankish kingdom. The fertile lands and prosperous cities of France were a tempting target for the ambitious Viking chieftain. He knew that conquering such a prize would not only bring him immense wealth, but also solidify his status as a legendary leader among his people. In 885 AD, his fleet of longships, bristling with hardened warriors, set sail. These ships, sleek and fast, were the epitome of Viking naval engineering, designed to navigate both open seas and narrow rivers with ease. The warriors on board were seasoned fighters, each one eager for the glory and spoils that awaited them. They sailed up the Seine, a serpent of wood and iron ascending the river towards Paris. The sight of these imposing vessels must have struck fear into the hearts of those who saw them. The longships moved with a purpose, their destination clear, the great city of Paris. The sight must have been terrifying for the Parisians. The city with its grand cathedrals and bustling markets was unprepared for the onslaught that was about to descend upon it. The citizens, having heard tales of Viking brutality, could only imagine the horrors that awaited them. The city, still recovering from previous Viking incursions, braced itself for another onslaught. The defenders, though weary, were determined to protect their home. They fortified the walls, readied their weapons, and prepared for a siege that would test their resolve to the utmost. The siege that followed was the stuff of legends. Rollo's Vikings, masters of siege warfare, battered the city walls with relentless ferocity. They used every tactic at their disposal, from battering rams to scaling ladders, in their attempt to breach the defenses. Rollo's Vikings, masters of siege warfare, battered the city walls with relentless ferocity. The sound of their war cries and the clash of weapons filled the air, creating a cacophony of chaos and destruction. The defenders, however, were equally determined, meeting each assault with fierce resistance. But the Parisians, led by the valiant Count Odo, fought back with equal determination. Count Odo, a seasoned warrior and leader, inspired his men to hold the line. His presence on the battlefield was a beacon of hope for the defenders, who rallied around him in their desperate struggle. The siege dragged on, a brutal test of wills. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, with neither side willing to give an inch. The city walls bore the scars of countless battles, and the fields around Paris were littered with the remnants of the fierce conflict. Yet despite their ferocity, Rollo and his Vikings were unable to breach the city's defenses. The Parisians' stubborn resistance, coupled with the arrival of Frankish reinforcements, forced Rollo to reconsider his strategy. The realization dawned on him that brute force alone would not secure his victory. The Parisians' stubborn resistance, coupled with the arrival of Frankish reinforcements, forced Rollo to reconsider his strategy. He was a pragmatist, a leader who understood the shifting tides of fortune. He knew that a different approach was needed if he was to achieve his goals. He was a pragmatist, a leader who understood the shifting tides of fortune. The siege of Paris, though a tactical stalemate, proved to be a turning point in Rollo's life. It was a moment of reflection, a time to reassess his ambitions and the means by which he sought to achieve them. The siege of Paris, though a tactical stalemate, proved to be a turning point in Rollo's life. It demonstrated the limits of brute force and opened his eyes to the potential for negotiation. He began to see that alliances and diplomacy could be as powerful as the sword. It demonstrated the limits of brute force and opened his eyes to the potential for negotiation. This realization would eventually lead to a significant shift in his approach, paving the way for his future as a ruler and the establishment of a legacy that would endure for generations. Recognizing the strategic importance of Rollo and his Vikings, who had become a formidable force in the region, the beleaguered King Charles the Simple, a ruler struggling to maintain his grip on power amidst internal strife and external threats, offered Rollo a momentous proposition that would change the course of history. In exchange for peace and Rollo's allegiance, which would bring stability to the region, the king offered him the hand of his daughter Gisla in marriage, and a swathe of land around the city of Rouen, a strategic and fertile area. This land, known as Neustria, was rich in resources and held great potential for development. It would become the heartland of Normandy, land of the Northmen, a region that would grow in power and influence. The year was 911 AD, a pivotal moment in European history. The Treaty of Saint-Clair-sur-Epte, a landmark agreement between the Vikings and the Franks, was signed, marking a turning point in European history and setting the stage for the rise of Normandy. For Rollo, it was the culmination of a remarkable journey, from a feared raider to a respected leader. The Viking raider, once a harbinger of chaos and destruction, had become a duke, a ruler entrusted with the defense and governance of the very kingdom he once sought to plunder. The treaty was a testament to his political acumen and strategic foresight, his ability to recognize an opportunity when he saw one, and to adapt to changing circumstances. But it also marked the beginning of a new chapter in Rollo's life, one that would see him transition from a warrior to a statesman, a chapter that would see him transform from a feared warrior into a respected ruler, shaping the future of Normandy and leaving a lasting legacy.